Hello.
Hi.
This is the NSFW Cleveland podcast. My name is Chris Paul.
I am John Armstrong.
John, we were, as we usually do, we chat before the show to get an idea what we're going to talk about.
A little warm up. You know, you can't just come in here cold.
Just a bro check.
Right.
Bro check in. That's not, there's none of that.
Well, I have to give the audience like something to like visualize. I don't know. Checking the temperature. And you know what?
Yes,
we're going to talk about the war on these hoes. No.
We were talking about. I realized as we were talking, we might be pieces of shit. We might be the problem.
Yeah, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So, yeah.
But that's the problem. That is the problem. Is that no one knows if they're the problem anymore.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Sometimes the problem gets you the solution, if that makes sense. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, people.
Whatever your issue is, if you type it into the search engine of YouTube, there's going to be someone telling you that you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that you have to aggressively
try to counterbalance
mentally torture someone to get by.
Yeah, confirmation bias is just one click away. You can make your entire world self-affirming for free.
I brought up Patrice Oneal.
What a treasure.
The late Patrice Oneal. He's because our last episode, if you're following along at home, I accidentally posted an older episode under the name of the Louis Theroux documentary that we reviewed.
Chris is actively sabotaging the podcast.
Yeah, I messed up. So that's why you're getting 2 episodes this week. The Manosphere one and this one, which is in some ways a follow-up. Because after watching that and seeing how ridiculous those people were, I went back to check on old Patrice Oneal, the Black Phillip program. Yeah. To the 2008, 2009 dating advice from Patrice. And that is misunderstanding Patrice Oneal is where the manosphere comes from. I think the whole the aspect of how all the different and I think there's a lot of black hosts too that had this it's all this dating advice for men. There's the Andrew Tate is the white guy version of it,
which Andrew Tate is mixed.
He's Albanian or something like that.
No, I think he's somebody in this. I think his father's black or mixed or something like that.
Oh,
yeah. No.
This must be a fact they pull out to prove he's not racist or something every once in a
yeah.
while.
Well, I mean, all that shit. Remember we were talking about that last week. All of those guys are they look kind of racially ambiguous, but they even throw in a little AAVE, but then they're racist as fuck. You know?
Yeah.
It's a whole Drake thing. That look, that dark hair with the beard. Am I Mediterranean? Am I Persian?
Yeah.
Am I Puerto Rican? Am I Italian? I'm
knows?
just a douchebag.
Am I a Nazi?
Yeah.
I might be a Nazi.
Yeah.
Maybe not, though.
Yeah.
Maybe only with women.
But I like some cool rap music, and I think Puerto Ricans are cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just all over the fucking place with their
torches.
douchebaggery. Yeah. But either way.
Anyhow, the Patrice Oneal factor, I think, is not downplayed, but just not talked about enough in this whole thing, because there's 100% a level of misogyny in the Black Phillip archives. Most of what he said was coming from a therapist would tell you the same things. They just wouldn't say dumb hoes.
Yeah, or goofy bitch.
Throughout.
That was one of my favorite Patrice colloquialisms. You goofy bitch. Yeah, and he'd be talking to the girl right there though on the radio show, and she would agree, or then he would ask like, "Oh, well, what are you doing, and what are the patterns?" And they would tell on themselves.
It was always so funny when this was more like the call-ins on when he would be on Opie and Anthony. When the women would called in that would try to take him to task. Yeah. And he would end up having them laughing and shit. Yeah. He's like, so I could fuck her right now.
Yeah. Yeah, the one when he's on the radio and he's like, I know your type, and then you can hear her tone acquiescing into him and being sucked in. And Burr had a story about that too, about them being out in New York, like in some restaurants, and it was like a table of women, just a table over, and they were like being loud, and then Patrice just was finally like, ma'am, your voice, it's piercing. And he's like yelling at them, and Burr was talking about by the end of the interaction, he was convincing them to sleep with him. You know what I mean? He was like, he said he never saw anybody like that. He said him and some other comic, either Gerardo or Bobby Kelly or one of those. But he was like he never saw anybody
just
that good.
Infuriate people and then win them over.
Yeah, well, that's that's
stand up
nagging. Yeah. That's nagging and hookup culture.
Yeah, I mean,
and to your point, even from a scientific standpoint, there's I don't have the language for it, but you could pathologize what that is too. You know what I mean? That's going towards a person's insecurities, but that makes them pull in. It's like in sales where they say, you never, if somebody's trying to sell you something and they have some shit, like if they have something that's like, you don't do the exchange or you don't touch, because if there's any type of physical touch, you automatically are so much percentage more likely to buy from that person.
Yeah, like if they hand you a pamphlet.
Yeah, if there's any energy exchange. Yeah. And you can do that mentally through certain prompts and things that you say to people that automatically makes them re-engage with you.
Well, I think there's like a very like the negative negging way to do it. Yeah. But I also think it's like good or bad. I think most people just want to be seen. Yeah. So even if it's something shitty you're telling them about themselves, if it's on point, they might still act angry, but they're gonna fuck. You know, like.
Well, it's a form of external validation, even if it is. Yeah. Because you still notice me. Well, did you hear the one story where I think he said he was in the car and he saw some lady and he was like, somebody like, your hair fucked up. He was like yelling at her from his car to her car. Like, your hair. You could tell he was talking to a black woman because it was like something said like your afro or something like that. Yeah. And then she was like, what, motherfucker? And then he just laughed and he was like, I'm sorry, my hair fucked up too. And then she laughed and then he started talking to her. Yeah. But that was another like story. He was like just leading with something so, you know what I mean, heavy, and then she re-engaged and then he brought it down and laughed and then she laughed and it just worked. Yeah.
And that's his stand-up too.
Yeah.
That's how. And yeah.
What a legend. You're gonna make me watch Patrice when I get
I don't know.
Did you see Elephant in the Room?
I still haven't watched. Because if I don't watch it, I feel like there's still something new I can watch.
That's Lord of the Rings for me. all that shit. Lord of the Rings. What was the other one? Harry Potter.
You just never watched the...
No.
Or saving them for...
I mean, saving them, and honestly, like I've said this on camera before. I don't like white fantasy.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think it's like racist per se, but it does kind of undergird this kind of weird whiteness. But to be fair, I also don't like when they try to like, throw a few niggas in there too. That's just weird. I mean, let white people have their fantasy, but I'm not going to watch it either. I like sci-fi. I told you, I'm a big. So I like white movies.
Do you ever?
I just like.
Have you ever
the cool ones?
One of the Superman movies where they had like Kryptonians, and they had like roughly the same amount of black people that you would find in America.
And it's always like that. Like, we're always like in the background when it's like, I mean, going by white people's rules, who's really white, you guys are the minority in the world. You know what I mean? But everywhere it's like it's a smattering of Asians and blacks.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, even in outer space, it's America numbers.
Outer space is gentrified.
Yeah, they're still trying to maintain the that imagined, tipping point.
Yeah.
But the thing, that mental game, like, that Patrice would play with, like, that thing isn't exclusive to, like, it doesn't just work on women, or like it's
a way to
a
engage
social
humans,
thing.
Yeah.
But then they apply all these to dating, is where it becomes like
nuclear.
Dude,
I still
red-pilled.
I still have a day job, America. Believe it or not, I'm not a full-time stand-up comic. It's coming though. It's coming real soon. But I do that. I just thinking about it. I do that in bartending. Like, people come up to the bar, and if I don't feel like fucking with them, but then I can't not want to fuck with them because I have to be on.
Yeah.
So they'll come up and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey," and then I'll like lean close, or like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's a way of like again, engaging and then making them engage, but controlling the energy. Like you're not going to control the energy. I am.
There's definitely like a weird line between where it feels like you're manipulating people.
Oh yeah.
And like where you're just like, I also don't think there's anything wrong with like measuring your reactions to things, and like,
well, there has to be somewhat of a push-pull. I mean, it's kind of cliche or whatever, but that whole thing about working, like, if you're not working towards your dreams, you're working for somebody else's. Yeah. And that's corny, but it's kind of true. And it's like that in life, because I went through that in a lot of different ways. So I used to get in trouble, just whatever. And then I got to a point like in my 20s, early 20s, where I wasn't doing shit. I wasn't getting in trouble. I wasn't being an ass, but still shit was happening. And then that's when I realized, like the earth, the universe, life, it won't let you sit on the sidelines. You're participating whether you know you are or not. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like, so in a sense of even if you're not trying to be part of this world where you don't want to manipulate, or you don't want to, because none of us want to do that. We're not saying manipulate in dating, but I'm just saying there's always a game that's being played whether you know you're participating or not. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you could be in the most casual of relationships with a very open person and everything, but self-preservation is self-preservation. You know what I mean? So even if you're just kind of thinking you're sitting on the sidelines, somebody's still jerking on your emotions.
Even at the very least, like, no one wants to be embarrassed. So everybody's motivated by like something to act certain ways. I do think I don't think in a work situation or something like that, I think manipulate the fuck out of your boss. Like, or not your boss, but like just your work situation. Yeah. Like, if the rules are we have to do that to live, don't negotiate with it. You know what I mean? Like, don't.
That's literally, we don't negotiate with terrorists. You know what I mean?
Like, I guess you are negotiating, but what I mean is, like, don't be scared to like make sure it's working for you. Like, and if that means you gotta play political games at work where you align with the right, you gotta. I think self-preservation in a work situation is like, not that I've not done anything really fucked up to anyone, but
you sound like somebody who owns a private equity firm.
No. I'm talking.
We're trying to maximize profits.
I'm talking more about as a worker. Like, just don't let yourself get too exploited.
Oh,
that's
course.
all.
Of course, yeah.
Not using the right words to say it, but that's what I'm saying.
No, I get it.
Is
America, long story short, we're making an analogy for we're out here, we're single, we've tried to be nice, and we realized that women want us to abuse them. So we're trying our best in the best way possible to to abuse them how they want us to abuse them. Not physically. We're not advocating that. Not mentally. Just same way they need to be choked during sex, which is annoying, is you got to choke them through. I didn't want to be this guy. This is all they respond to.
I don't know what just happened here.
Don't inch out of the frame.
I'm talking about internet culture.
And I brought it over into dating, all right? We were talking about Patrice Oneal. We're talking about dating. I'm saying, dude. Balls in your court, motherfucker. No.
I'm talking about just navigating socially.
Yes, and I'm being hyperbolic, but I was telling Chris the other thing that I've just noticed is trying to navigate dating and just all types of just human interaction, but dating specifically because that's where vulnerability comes from, and then intimacy and all this other stuff. There's a certain level of game that we as humans need to be played for us to be engaged, but at the other side of it, it gets annoying. And that's what I'm starting to see, and that's why revisiting Patrice Oneal and just kind of analyzing these push and pulls is interesting, because I never wanted to be a game player, but then I realized I respond to game being played on me.
After we watched that documentary, I was thinking about Patrice a lot because because I really do think that's where a lot of the stuff starts at.
The seed to the red pill.
The evolution
in the comment section if y'all think Patrice Oneal, because I mean he was one of the first in that, what do you call that, the early aughts or whatever.
Well, yeah, and if you go back to even like 99, 2000, when Opie and Anthony first came on in Cleveland, when they were first syndicated, at least at that time, that round of syndication, they brought in, well, like Norton, and then Norton was the one that kept bringing in his other comedian friends,
Patrice and Burr,
and Rich Voss and all those guys. And there's a direct line from that show, that version of Opie and Anthony, down to like Anthony had a podcast with one of the people that got fired from Vice for being racist. Like Gavin McGinnis.
Well, I mean, your Barstool Sports, that's a natural progression. Of course, Joe Rogan, that whole
Joe
branch
Rogan
that comes out of that.
The whole manosphere that sort of rolled out of Joe Rogan, and then Andrew Tate and all them guys got into podcasting because it was working so well for Rogan.
You ever see that episode of, because the person who got Rogan into it was Tom Green, and he had his show, and like watching that episode, like I was watching a YouTube breakdown of it, but you can literally see Joe Rogan talking to Tom Green, and Tom Green is breaking them down like, this is the future, and this is, I just put this together, and he's like, you get to talk to people, and
we can control the ad revenue.
That
was
but that was all those branches were coming from
what I remember the time in early Joe Rogan podcast. He talked about that, and he talked about having, like, the way Opie and Anthony was just a fun hang. And they would just like have all these guys in there and stuff, and that was,
I mean, that's how the Bilderberg meeting started. They were just hanging out.
I think at that point he wanted a radio show, and then the Tom Green thing happened, and he realized what it was, and then it got popular, and billionaires invested in it, and that's how Trump got elected a second time. Plus or minus, but the original reason I brought up Patrice was the overlap of the psychology behind the shit he would talk about. If you took out all the Patrice language of it, like the misogyny,
take out all the colored language.
It's a lot of stuff therapists would tell you too. Like,
well, that's
they would tell you as more of a mutual, like, a less like gender based thing, but like just psychologically, so much of it is true.
Yeah, because you're dealing with primal feelings. That's the same way somebody can legitimately go through therapy or be a therapist, and like how people say, you know, people weaponize therapist speech, and that type of language. You know what I mean? I want to center myself.
Patrice did the opposite. He dressed it up with all this bullshit, but was weaponizing the actual therapy. And
let's do an
speech.
example for somebody if there's somebody watching who's not familiar with Patrice. One of the things I always comes to mind is his analogy about power dynamics with men and women, and how like a king can make any woman a queen. He could just go up to any woman on the street and, hey, you want to marry me? And she's queen. She's the second in command. But a queen can't make any dude a king. He wasn't saying that so much to put women down, but he was like, that woman wants to be in that position. She wants to be number two. She likes deferring to her man, and she's just second in command. So it's not like she doesn't have power. She's the second most powerful person in the whole kingdom. You know what I mean? So it's not like she's on the bottom by any means, but she just gets to defer to the most powerful. And inversely, she can't like not have a king and then go to somebody else and make him a king, because he would not have that type of power if she's just drawing him from somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way the guy would. But he was just brilliant when I'm butchering it a little bit
as
you know
a metaphor.
But yeah. Or how like what was the one about sharks and
I think like in that metaphor, like to put it in a therapy context, it would just be about confidence.
Yeah.
And not like that you're actually ruling over anyone.
Yeah, well, also in that thing, how they say with dating, like women, and this is for, you know, for survival and historical reasons, women want a powerful man or a man who has status, because he will protect her and provide for her. But a man doesn't care what a woman does for a living. We just don't, and we still don't. I mean, you care in a sense. I mean, but a woman initially, it's that thing how they say. When a guy meets somebody, a girl, and then he goes to his guy friends, they're like, oh, what is she like? Oh, what does she look like? And then when a girl meets a guy and she goes to her girlfriends, they ask, what does he do?
What does he drive?
yeah. But it defers to the material.
Too carless.
And again, that's not. I mean, that can be taken ramped up a notch to be like gold digging materialistic. But at its base, it's just because, you know, we were supposed to be.
At its base, it's another thing that's like,
I almost said the word provider. We're supposed to be provide. I don't want to. You can actively see me getting sucked into the red.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
This is how it happened to Rogan. Everybody, I missed the NSFW podcast.
Before they watched that documentary.
Oh God, what are we?
Let me put it in the.
Next week we're interviewing Trump. Oh God.
Let me put it in the better context. What you're saying.
How it happens.
It's not a powerful whatever. It's just nobody wants to be saddled with a fucking loser. At the end of the day, that does go both ways.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, you know, no one's going out looking for a stay-at-home wife anymore either. Like that's not. At least in my mind, I can't imagine. I know there's people that are. I know that's part of the manosphere thing, but no normal people are doing that.
There's a joke I'm working on in my head. And it's through this thing I was watching and reading. It was about how humans just crave exclusivity in one way or another. And that's why some men, like I don't care to a certain point, but like obsess over the body count, that word, how many guys a woman has been with. a woman doesn't care so much because on the other end of it, it shows how powerful you are. I mean, that's why, you know, women, you know, hate guys that cheat, but a lot of women who cheat with guys like the fact that this guy is put together and so good that some woman wants to be with him. It's a weird psychological thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, all of this stuff is kind of like traveling in toxic circles, right? Like it's like the most, like when you talk about it out
red
loud,
pill tastes good.
when you talk about it out loud, but it doesn't mean like every individual person is a certain way, or it's just a general, because that's how language works. But I'm
not saying black people got low IQs. I'm just
heads are shaped differently.
Phrenology.
No,
I just don't want gays in my school.
To that same point, you can apply that to like comedy crowds, because what's like the most popular thing right now? It's don't tell. It's this exclusive thing. You have to be cool to know about it. You have to have like the special code word,
exclusivity.
Or you get the, you know, secret location and all those kind of things. Like that's more than just like.
Well, the joke
dating.
I tried.
That's an overall.
Yeah.
Weird human thing.
The joke I tried a couple times, it didn't work, but I gotta work it out. Is like, it's like, a man shouldn't care about a woman's body count per se, but once you get into certain numbers, then it's like, okay, that's just a little dangerous. But again, a woman won't care about a man as much. But I bet the joke I tried to do is, I bet a woman would care if you got into a serious relationship and y'all fell in love, and then she found out you proposed to 20 different women before.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Exclusivity. Yeah. Who wants to be 21? And even if this is a great guy and blah, 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 who wants to be the 21st one? Because it lets you know that this dude doesn't take this seriously.
I got another.
That joke might work. I'm gonna try it again. It didn't get a good laugh where I did it.
From the call-ins on the old Patrice show. Another funny one I just remembered was this dude called in, and he's like, he's been married. He's been married for 17 years, and she's cheated on him with 30 guys during that time.
Jesus.
And they're like, They didn't really like make fun of the guy or like make him feel bad about it. They were like, "Are you into that? Why don't you just be swingers?"
Yeah, they were trying to understand why are you doing this?
Right. And he said they had 2 kids and stuff like that. And Patrice was like, "Oh, okay, he's got his reasons for it."
Do you have 2 kids? She has 2 kids. She said at least 30 dicks.
What the guy explained was that she was diagnosed with some form of bipolar, and it lowered her decision making, and so she had very erratic, impulsive behavior, and then would feel bad or whatever afterwards. And their advice.
Again, this feels like we're just pathologizing shitty behavior. I mean, there still should be accountability.
So his actual advice to the guy was like, "So she's a hoe," and he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "But you love her." And
I think I heard this one.
Yeah, and
go, keep going.
He goes, "Then love her as a hoe." Just if that's what the situation you're gonna stay in, just stay there, just do it. And
in therapy speak, that is meet people where they are. Meet people where they are.
Yeah.
Stop trying to change what something is.
Yeah.
And just meet people where they are.
Or don't.
Fucking brilliant, dude.
Yeah. Either either that or if you're not comfortable with it, then get out of there. But
yeah, because that constantly pushing and trying to make somebody, or even if you're not pushing them, if you're pushing yourself and contorting your boundaries and things, you know what I mean?
But 30 times in 17 years, that's like twice a year they're having this fight.
Yeah.
for 17 years. I did that for 1 year, and I was like,
that's
a
rough,
year and a half. And I got the fuck out of there. I could not love her as a hoe.
Well, here's the thing. I've been in somewhat of a situation like that in the past, and at least in mine, I kind of tried to, but it was like once I tried to do that, then she kind of moved the goalpost a little, because then she was like, well, I'm not a hoe to be loved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so even when you try to meet them where they are, it's like, well, I'm not there. I'm over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
then it's like, okay, I don't want to play hopscotch.
Yeah.
I don't even care what you are. Just don't Uno reverse me when I put a mirror.
Patrice was also,
which is partly me projecting my own shit too.
Patrice was also the one that talked about, and he did it more in comedy, but the impact versus intent.
Yeah.
Where, like, the intent of the joke might be this, but the impact could be something else. And, you know, you have to be aware of that, but also the audience has to be aware of that.
Yeah. Well,
like,
it was like that Fox News interview that he did.
Yeah.
When he was talking about that, like I should be able to do the attempt. Like that's what you know what I mean? That's what we're here for. And then he does the example of a donkey punch. He's talking about that. And even the conservative lady, she could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
She's like, why are you laughing?
That's inappropriate.
Yeah, he just had a way with words, and not just words, but he was just very matter of fact. Matter of fact, I just saw on Instagram, because Bill Burr still does it. They used to do it closer to January, but they just did the latest Patrice Oneal benefit. He does it every year.
Oh yeah, that's another reason I think I thought of, because I kept seeing flyers for that.
Yeah. Raises money, gives it to his.
The last time
I actually just worked with his ex-girlfriend a few weeks ago. Von DeCarlo.
The one that he was with when he died?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't even know it was, because she didn't bring him up. She just talked about, my ex passed and blah 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 blah. But I had looked on.
I didn't know she was a comic.
Yeah. She's got a famous book. Yeah, she's a big following. Very sweet. Yeah. Look at this 6 degrees.
This is who she was talking about, or who he was talking about all the time.
Yeah. Well, that joke about when he found out he had diabetes, because she was like, "Your pee tastes like birthday cake."
That impact thing was I learned hugely in my personal life, and when I had a really toxic situation.
Expound. Do you want to talk about it? You want to talk?
It was a lot of cheating and stuff. And
yeah.
Also, a lot of we would talk about mental health a lot, and
pathologizing shitty behavior.
One of the and very codependent, or as we tried to call it, interdependent, because we thought it was funnier.
That avoidant attachment. Shit, that's been going through my algorithm too.
The impact.
All these push pulls.
Conversation we had a lot, which was whatever your mental health issue, and I think this comes up in like NA and stuff too, like whatever your issues are, like your intent might not be shitty, but if you're having a shitty impact on someone else, like it doesn't matter why they're doing it.
Yeah,
it just matters and then like that's what the impact is, what you have to operate off of.
Yeah, because that's the material consequences of what you're doing, whether you realize it or not. It's like people who aren't conscious that they're racist, or like, or we talked about this in a roundabout way, like the amount of sexual assault and rape that goes on, and how common it is. But do you know how many guys don't look at themselves as as rapists?
Yeah, because they think they were taking charge, or they.
Or I don't even mean that. I mean having sex with a woman while she sleep.
Yeah.
Or you just keep asking and wearing her down.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Gives it to you.
Badgering and
or
negotiating. Oh, if we're not gonna fuck, can we just do this? Can we do that? And just backing people into a corner.
Yeah.
Generally. Impact. But yeah, that was the last time I was listening to a lot of Patrice is when I was ending that situation. Because I needed the misogyny at that point.
I've gone to him in relationship roller coaster times in my life, and it is very cathartic.
Because if you're dealing with someone toxic, what you need is a weapon that fights toxicity.
Yeah.
it's fire. You gotta fight fire with fire.
Yeah. That's why Democrats suck.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can lose, but you're losing like a piece of shit. It's like at least have some pushback. And again, Patrice, he was misogynistic. I don't agree with everything he said, but it might have been a precursor to this red pill shit, but it was not the red pill shit. It just had a level of authenticity and matter of fact and just lived experience. It was
more.
You could see the material results in real time on those call-in shows.
Yeah,
women would just they would just prove his point.
Yeah, when
it's fucking uncanny,
or
man.
They would come to an agreement, and sometimes, he would just as often be like, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And he would take it in, and then he would shit on it. But
again, on his end too, that's always keeps engagement going too, is if you can concede certain things, if you can let people in, if you're constantly on top of people, then after a while,
it's also just how you get smarter.
Yeah.
Is to accept new information.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't mesh with what you already think you know.
Yeah, well, that's the core of conservatism, you know what I mean? Nothing gets in the...
to conserve a point in time.
Yeah.
The 18-somethings.
It's so fucking weird, dude.
You had a 10-year comedy anniversary since we recorded last, right?
Yep. 10 years, man. Wow, what a ride.
Did you have a show, like a anniversary show or anything you did? Did you do anything for it?
Actually, that day, that day, it was a Sunday. That weekend, I opened up for Josh Johnson at Hilarities. That was fucking insane.
Nice.
That weekend, dude, when you get to open, for a person who's, blowing up or known, or just, all the shows were sold out. And we got it at the last minute. It was me and Mike Strange. Shout out to Mike Strange. He's a fucking murderer, dude. He's good, man. He's good. The shows were great front to back. And they had us both do 12, but I was acted as the host, so it's me and this Trank and then Josh Johnson. So, but really good weekends. I didn't comment on the shows that it was my 10-year anniversary, but I did a late show Saturday. So Saturday, we had the two shows. I already had the Cigar Lounge show that I was producing. This was the first one that we were doing in Tremont. And then I already had that booked, so I was like, shit, how I'm going to do this? Because that was at 9. The fucking Hilarity show's at 9:45. I'm first, so I'm like, all right, I'm off stage by 10. I'm in Tremont by 10:20. That show started at 9, but don't start until 9:20. Samantha Archel went up first, and then it was Ramon and Flint, and then a couple people showed up and they let them do guest spots. So by the time I got there, Flint was up, and that show was going well. But then I commented on my 10-year anniversary there, and then from there I closed out the Secret Society show at where was it at? Fuck, I forget.
It's the old Redstone, Hetfield, or not Hetfield's. Right down the street here.
Devil, what is it? something. Yeah. But yeah, so I talked
upstairs.
Yeah. All Saints. Yeah.
All Saints. Yeah, it used to be called Red. Was it Redstone?
I think so, but that was before I started because that's what everybody called it. So I talked about it then too, but I don't know. It felt good, man. Fucking 10 years kind of flew by. I'm proud of the stuff I've done. It felt good to have a weekend like this be the 10-year.
Yeah, 4 sets in.
Yeah,
Saturday.
4 sets in a night, man. I haven't done that and 4 clubs kind of sets. I mean, All Saints ain't a club, but they sell that out, so it's a full room and it's built really well. You know what I mean? It's not built like a lot of other bar shows where you're on top of a bar, so it's barely a bar up there. So yeah, and like I said, the shows were like bam, 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 bam. Got some good laughs. Fucking, I did a post because I was like, Josh, I don't really usually fan out, but can I get a pic? So we got a pic, and then I put it on the gram, and he reposted it. So now I got new followers, and it's up to like 700 likes and
nice.
20-some thousand views, and I was like, thanks, Josh.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good highlight to that. But the cigar show, I got to talk to the owner about doing that. Crowbar Third Thursdays is coming up. So into this 10-year, I want to produce those. I'm thinking about doing another. Just being more proactive, because that's the thing I was kind of talking to Strank about. I think we talked about this too. Like, I really want to do comedy full time, and I've been trying to reduce my bar days, so I have to rely on comedy money. And I'm just realizing that, not just realizing, but I'm super realizing that, like, I just have to step out there. There's not going to be a magic time where they're like, okay, you're booked from this weekend to infinity. You know what I mean? It's just
I mean, even once you're doing it, you have to maintain it.
There's going to be stop starts. There's going to be, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to have to kind of eventually here just go out on a leap of faith and just keep my foot on the gas.
Yeah, because I don't have a car again.
Yeah.
I'm doing stuff out of town. Like, I'm going back to New York and going to Chicago.
When you go to Chicago?
July 4th weekend.
Who you going with?
John Brown is also booked on it. But yeah, I'm going for the whole
Saying it on the
weekend.
show. Do you got room? Can I piggyback with you? If you can't, if I can't,
we'll talk about it.
Okay, all right. if I can't, I get it. But Chicago in the summer. Oh my God.
Because it's the Thursday is roast battles. What I'm going up for.
Okay.
Yeah. But
where are you at? Because you said you had a gap in your comedy career, right? Didn't you slow down for a couple years or something?
I would honestly, if I really, from like I recorded an album, like my CD, like early 2019, like February.
Yeah.
And then I fucked off the rest of the year.
No.
Like I was hardly doing anything. We were still running roast battle or ad hom at the time. But I was barely doing stand up, and then 2020 was, COVID, and so I wasn't really doing it from 2019 to 2020. 2022 I came back, but I was still just sort of dicking around. Like, I didn't really do a lot. So I would say for 4 years I wasn't really active, other than running our roast battle show when we did.
Yeah.
I did stand-up shows throughout that and stuff, but like when I started, it was like I was out every night for like years. So going from that to what I was doing then I don't feel like I was really doing it or progressing.
Yeah, you're
getting any better.
Just kind of there, still in it, but not like actively forging.
So honestly, 2004 to now, so
22 years.
2.5, 3 years, and then 7, so like 9 or 10, right around 10.
No.
It was 2012, so it's been 14 altogether, but Yeah, I would say like 10.
Yeah.
It's a good 4 years that I wasn't really doing much.
Yeah, I want to.
I will say I did during that time, like running Roast Battle and some podcasts and stuff like that. Like I was learning how to be a producer during that, like how to book and put shows together and stuff. At least Roast Battle.
Yeah.
So, the fact that we eventually got that picked up by Roast Battle League, makes me feel like those 4 years weren't a total waste.
Well, that's a big fucking deal, man. You're literally attached to like a national brand, like, and you get out.
Yeah, we are actively watering down a national brand. No, I don't know. It's good. I think it's overall a very good thing. I know there's a lot of hate for the Roast Battle, roast comics and stuff like that, and there's a lot of bitch ass comics out here that
a lot of goofy bitches.
A lot of goofy bitch comics out here.
You goofy bitch. That's so good because like bitch is harsh, but goofy lets you know like I can't even take you serious. You're goofy. Oh, Patrice, you goofy bitch.
I can't stand these hoes.
Okay, all right. So I was on stage and I was like just talking shit, you know what I'm saying? And I forgot what I was talking about like overall, but I had said something about, blah blah blah, and then I said female, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of a pejorative now, right? Like y'all don't like being called female, and then a girl in the audience, she was like, yeah, well, I don't like that. That's negative. I was like, really? Yeah, and then she was like, I was like, what do you feel about like bitch hoe? And she was like, I'd rather be called hoe than female. I was like, really? Mistakes will be made, America. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing out here.
Yeah, it's it's a weird thing because it's just different for everywhere you go.
Oh, I should do that as a joke. I'm gonna do that on stage.
That's like no, I don't want to get into that.
You can't do that. You can't.
No. Oh well, okay. So like in the I'll tell you what I was thinking. Jim Norton, who we worked a weekend with Jim Norton.
Yeah.
He has a trans wife who he refers to as a tranny sometimes.
Yeah.
He's used this word a lot over the years. It's a pejorative for trans people in LA. In a lot of New York circles where Jim Norton was dating people, they were all using this word openly. Like, it was one of those things that, like, because it was national radio and now because of the internet, that, like, different pockets of what people are comfortable with as far as, like, offensiveness are all over the country. And then when you get into, like, as much as we're not a monoculture anymore, we're more of one in other ways because it's more connected.
Well, for cultural norms and for taboos like that, yeah. I mean, it just started being taboo for certain Southern people to, say colored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like different parts of the country catch up over time. And,
dude.
But it's like the difference between like what like gays in a small town might be comfortable with certain slurs or like being used as not even like how you just like that table's gay, like stuff like that. I don't remember why I brought this up though.
So Ed Norton wife.
Jim Norton.
Yeah,
no, I was what I was gonna say. I was comparing it to something else, but I didn't want to get into it and use the word is why I was gonna avoid
I
it.
got you, and I pulled it out of you. Did you see Dave Chappelle did that interview and he was talking about how Republicans weaponize his joke?
I would have felt better if he never did that.
I kind of like that. I don't like it,
but
I kind of like that it's documented that it's like, okay, you are full of shit.
I would have. Yeah, I would have. I was gonna say I would have thought of him as a much smarter guy if he didn't he didn't explain exactly what that was and then act like he didn't get that for the last 15 years. Because his whole thing is how he gets shit that nobody else gets. So
you're the guy. You're the guy. Yeah.
For him he's the guy that breaks shit down and tells the truth, and he completely missed that point all that time.
Also, the guy who brought Elon Musk on stage.
The main point people were making.
I will not forget any of those people in that web who just kind of normalized all of those weird geek. They were all used, and I think they're all realizing that now, and they feel stupid, but they're not going to say anything.
Bill Burr's gone the other direction too. He's posted more like glamour shot, like he's getting into that 2 bears 1 cave bullshit where those guys were showing off how rich they are now.
Well, I noticed him posting up more with his wife. I after the Riyadh thing, I kind of stopped listening. I haven't listened to his podcast in a while, just because okay, it's shitty that he went, but his was one of the more shitty ones because he had been going on all these rants about fuck these billionaires, and then people were like, even his old podcast where he was criticizing Beyonce and all these other people who literally go over to the Middle East and entertain these dictators, you know what I'm saying? And then he's literally saying how much money do you need and all this other shit, and then so when he comes back, I couldn't keep listening to the podcast because he kept trying to defend it, and he's saying well, I went there to entertain the people. It wasn't about that, and you guys are being racist because you think that we can't and it's like, dude, Bill, I love you, man. He's one of my goats. He is. But I'm like, don't talk to us I like you because you're smart. Don't talk to me like I'm fucking stupid, dude. That's what Chappelle
with the Chappelle thing too. Yeah,
you're smart. You're charismatic. You know how to.
I feel like he was smart, but I'm
smart enough. Smart in what he does, because that is the other thing that happened. That's that Kanye West shit. That Elon Musk shit. You'll be smart in one area, and then they're just like, oh, you're a genius, and you just laud over everything on the earth, and I can explain this pillow as well as I can explain nuclear physics and racism. It's no, you're good at making beats.
What I mean is that that's the thing.
It's bigger than that. But
that's the thing that I haven't liked about Chappelle for this whole time is that he was doing shit that was being weaponized. It's like, oh, thanks for explaining why I haven't listened to you for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. But even his reason why he said he quit his show was because somebody was laughing at a racial joke in a way that... So he gets...
So this is exactly the gay version of that same thing that he's been doing, and now he's learned it all these years later after defending it tooth and nail for forever and saying it wasn't that. It was seeing that I was like, oh, fuck you, man.
And that happens with jokes, but again, his feigning ignorance is what makes it.
Yeah.
Because Chris Rock talks about, one of my favorite specials and one of the greatest jokes of all time is when Chris Rock did his niggas versus black people joke. And
oh my God, yeah.
Have you ever heard that one?
I've heard it repeated.
And
from white people.
So So later it gets turned into this conservative thing. Look, see, even they blah 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 blah. And Chris Rock was like, that's why he stopped doing that joke, because it was. And again, this was back in the '90s when this came out. Bring the Pain was 1996, and he's there was no internet culture. There was no, you know what I mean. And white people. This was a black audience that he's playing to. So we're talking about our shit. It would be like if a female, if a woman comic was playing to mostly women and just talking about we like cheating on guys and sucking dick and stuff, and then a bunch of guys, red pill guys, say see they are a bunch of whore. You know what I mean? So people can weaponize your stuff, but the thing that made Chris Rock's better is he acknowledged it, and that's why he walked away from it, and he's like, that wasn't what I was doing with that.
Yeah.
This shit that Burr and Chappelle are doing is just just take the L.
Yeah.
Take the L. Dude, 2 days ago, my birthday, April 30th, fucking 2-year anniversary of the greatest rap battle in history when Kendrick Lamar released the song Euphoria to diss Drake. And Drake, his career has been spiraling for the past 2 years ever since, and one of the reasons is because he could not take the L.
Yeah.
He couldn't just take the L. He sued his record company because he said they conspired to shit on him, even though you volunteered to get in a diss battle, which means you're going to disrespect each other by telling angry poems. And then he got mad because his angry poems wasn't as angry as Kendrick's was. But he's just saying all that to say, fucking Drake, fucking Bill Burr, fucking Chappelle, just take the fucking L and move the fuck on, dude.
Yeah.
We could apply that to dating too. I had to get that fucking trying to change a person or trying to do take the L.
Yeah, that was another Patrice. You gotta be willing to take an L.
Savant, dude. Fucking savant, dude.
Direct quote.
Yeah. Know thyself. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's wild, dude. That's that shit like when you're young, all that simple stuff, and then you run away from it, and then over time you're like, oh, that is true. Yeah,
you think when you're younger like that it has to be more complicated.
Yeah.
You think everything's more complicated, and it never gets more I mean, it does in some ways, but...
Well, you start having these experiences, and you're in the experience, so you can't feel it as much, but then when you look back at it, you're like, oh, that was... Okay.
Yeah, most things, like, you could a few years later, you can sum up. This is why I'm thinking about a lot of this right now, and we've been talking about it, because your breakup, and I've... When I'm writing stand-up... So like when I first started was 2012, and I had a lot of jokes about my divorce, which was actually happened in like 2007. So I'm on like a 5-year delay on feeling comfortable talking. So I'm just now getting to where I'm like talking about this last toxic and like just toxic relationships in general and trying to write about that. So like that's a lot of where this is coming from for me now, and like just looking into like the therapy videos and like just that part of the just to write commentary about it and shit. Yeah. So
just finally like having a comfortability to even deal with the feelings around all of it.
Yeah, it takes me 4 or 5 years to really be completely like
you're
analytical.
Like processing, dude.
It's so I'm far enough away from it to be analytical about it.
Yeah.
And like without like removed. It's not like it was still there. It was just like just the being disconnected from it for an amount of time is
for sure.
What I have to do before I can make it funny.
Well, yeah, and let things breathe so that the emotion behind it. Not that it's not there, but it's not as visceral.
Yeah. Well, and it does like when you start dating again, like a lot of those things you're like, woof, I did not know I had an issue with this.
Well, that's the thing. Like I have been in relationships so long, and I've been in like 2 really long-term relationships for most of my adult life. So like just being like outside of that again, it is a very like it's like it's like when you go to a movie in the daytime and it's like a compelling movie and it's really good. Then the movie's over and then you go out and you open the door and it's just like oh yeah. Oh shit, this is
that's right, it's daytime in winter outside.
yeah it feels like that's just jarring.
It was the summer of '78 back inside the movie.
So just you're just out of this one world and now you're shit, this is the world.
Yeah, it's kind of like then you need to live in that world, the real world, for a while to.
And part of me is still thinking about the movie and how cool it is and like
or how awful it was.
Yeah. But and then your eyes are adjusting to the new reality.
Yeah. What do you got stand-up wise coming up? You kind of mentioned it, but
I think I got something next week. Canton Comedy Boom. They're doing a tourist show.
Tourist show.
Tourist, like it's signs.
Oh, okay.
I saw the light leave your eyes. Goofy bitch. Fucking astrology.
Yeah, I hope all your
religion for atheists. Yeah, but they always put on good shows. I love them down there, and that they really turned that room into a literal nice little club. So yeah, I got that, and then I got like a bunch of small independent ones. I have been working hilarities forever, so I probably won't be there for a minute. But Third Thursdays is going to be on the 21st this month. Still got to set up whatever day we're going to do that. The next cigar show. I got to get with the owner on that, and I just got to like book some shit, honestly.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't have any. I have just RBL Cleveland for all the roast battle dates, and I got some updates. I'm working on summer dates and stuff right now.
Yeah.
Had to move a show around for going back to New York for roast battle, but other than that, just follow us on Instagram at Chris Epaw,
at John Armstrong Comedy.
And we'll see you next week if I upload the right video.
Here's a porn tape from 1999.